Have you ever thought that a business starting from zero could become a billion-dollar company? What if I told you? Nike almost failed many times before it became a global empire. This is the story of Nike and the man behind it, Phil Knight. Before the billions, before the famous logo, there was a man selling shoes from the trunk of his car and fighting every day just to survive. And this is how an impossible dream turned into history. In 1962, Phil Knight graduated from college feeling completely lost. He didn't want a normal 9-to-5 job. He wanted adventure, purpose, meaning. So he decided to travel the world. During this journey, a business idea kept growing in his mind. Japanese companies were beating Germany in electronics, so Phil wondered, why can't Japan beat Germany in running shoes? That small idea became an obsession. Phil flew to Japan and visited a company called Onitsuka Tiger. They asked him a simple question. Which company do you represent? Phil froze. He didn't have a company, so he invented one on the spot, Blue Ribbon Sports. That lie changed history. The company believed him and gave him the rights to sell their shoes in America. One lie started a billion-dollar empire. Back in America, Phil partnered with his running coach, Bill Bowerman. They had no office, no employees, and almost no money. Phil sold shoes from the trunk of his car at running events. He personally talked to runners, asked about pain, comfort, and speed. He wasn't building a company, he was building trust. Here's the part most people never hear. Nike was always broke. Every single year, banks constantly threatened to cut loans, bills piled up, and employees needed salaries. Phil later said, "I woke up every morning convinced we were going bankrupt." Success didn't make life easy. Growth made the problems bigger. More orders meant more inventory. More inventory meant more debt. The company was running, but always out of breath. Phil didn't hire typical employees. He hired dreamers, runners, rebels. People who loved running more than money. Nike became a family. They worked crazy hours, took insane risks, and believed in something bigger than shoes. They weren't chasing profits. They were chasing a dream. The biggest nightmare began when their Japanese supplier started doubting them. Nike depended completely on them. If the partnership ended, the company would die. Phil secretly searched for new factories while fighting lawsuits. Debt was growing, pressure was crushing, and sleep became rare. This was the moment Nike almost disappeared forever. In 1971, Phil made the scariest decision of his life. He would create his own brand. A new name was chosen, Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. A design student named Carolyn Davidson created the swoosh logo. She was paid just $35. Today, that logo is priceless. Coach Bowerman was obsessed with better running shoes. One morning, he looked at a waffle iron and got a crazy idea. He poured rubber into it and accidentally invented the waffle sole. Lightweight, better grip, revolutionary. This changed running shoes forever. Nike needed a hero. They found one in Steve Prefontaine. He wasn't just fast, he was fearless, passionate, rebellious. He didn't just wear Nike, he became Nike. The brand stopped selling shoes and started selling inspiration. After years of fear, debt, and sleepless nights, Nike finally went public in 1980. Phil Knight became rich, but more importantly, the dream survived. From a car trunk to a global empire, Phil Knight's story teaches us something powerful. Success is not clean. It is messy, scary, and uncertain. The world only sees the victory, but behind every victory are years of fear nobody talks about. Phil started with nothing, no money, no investors, no guarantee, just a crazy idea and the courage to try. So if you have a dream, start before you feel ready. Start before you feel confident. Start even if you're scared, because every global empire once began as a small, crazy idea in someone's mind. Maybe the next one is yours. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends.